All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Alex Boothe, and I'm the incident meteorologist on the Orr fire. And what I'm doing here is basically I'm a technical specialist, and I plug in with incident management teams. I work for the Weather Service, but I come out and work and forecast weather for the fire and help with planning, so the operational folks can make their strategies on how to control. So what I'm here for is to provide forecast information. And what Darren had already mentioned about this specific fire was the lead up in terms of the temperatures being very hot, record setting. And I was looking at some data once I got here, just to kind of calibrate myself. This July, over the last 24 years, is on average, the high temperatures are 6 degrees above the second highest year, which was 2023. So that is a big precursor for fire behavior, getting those really extreme temperatures. So since I've been here since Sunday, I brought some cooler weather, if you haven't noticed. And I'm from Florida, so it's hot there right now, and I'm happy to be here. So since I've been here, we've actually gone back to this onshore flow pattern. And it's pretty, we call it stagnant, persistent. It's unchanging, it's gonna continue. And what that has brought is these lower temperatures, more seasonal temperatures in the upper 70s, low 80s, which have helped, kind of fire and kind of keeping things a little bit at bay. But so what we use, one of the things that I provide on the fire is an outlook, just like a weather forecast you see on TV, but I do it specifically for the fire and where the fire is located up in the mountains. And these elements here, this chart, I produce one of these every day. And I know you can't see it, but the colors are what's important. The green, it's good, right? Everything green is good. We like green vegetation, green lights, all that good stuff. So there's a lot of green on there. Yellow means it's elevated. It's getting to that point where, like fire behavior, and I work on these criteria to look at certain elements. And when it gets to yellow, it's getting closer to where it's critical, where we'd expect it to be more approaching that extreme level. So could see some changes in how the fires act. And then this red here. The red are those criticals, basically when those variables become critical. And you see some red on there, and I will explain each one of these boxes. But that's just a signal when we have each one of these columns here as a day. When we start to see those columns and those cells fill in with red, we know that the potential is going up for more erratic type of fire, based on the weather alone. And that's only one part of how fire behaves. So just taking this day by day, so this is starting tomorrow, and you can see there's some red on here, and I'll explain it, but there's a lot of green and yellow, which is beneficial because that pattern, that onshore flow pattern, doesn't look like it's gonna change, at least not for the next week. And so those lower temperatures, seasonal temperatures, and relative humidities are gonna be above where we would expect it to be even more moderate. At least for the next week. It looks like there's even potential for something like a sprinkle come next week, early next week. So let me talk about the red down here. And I'll try to explain some of this, I guess the science behind it. This is cloud cover and rain. Rain, we know why we want rain for fire, because it helps put it out, right? Natural way to put out fire. Well, under this pattern we have, there's not much a chance for much rain at all. And even when I said the sprinkle next week, the sprinkle's not gonna do much. So we need a real wetting rain to be significant. So that's why when these values are just no rain in the forecast, that red kind of sticks out. So we know a dry pattern, it's not favorable, at least for helping us get the fire under control naturally. And the cloud cover, this one's probably more the sciencey side. So humidity and temperature are related. And when you get cloud cover, right, you go in the shade, it's much cooler than being out in the sun. So as temperatures go down, humidity goes up. And higher humidity means that the fuels or the vegetation is not being, the air is not trying to suck the moisture out of the fuels, essentially. So when we don't have cloud cover, we get more of that sunshine on the fire, and it kind of helps get those fuels going. So that's pretty much what we provide here on the fire, what I provide on the fire, along with other things like wind. And wind is a very important driver of fire movement. And luckily, we don't see much at all in terms of significant wind, like pressure systems that are going to cause any kind of significant wind, at least in the next 7 days. And it's all going to be pretty light. And terrain driven, we say that just basically the up valley, during the afternoon, and down valley and drainage winds at night. So honestly, a pretty good forecast for helping fight fire for at least the near term. Now I want to talk about drought, because drought helps with, if you're in a drought, you're more likely to have this type of environment persist, or maybe have more fires, things like that. We're actually not in drought in this location. It's just been abnormally dry. I've looked at a couple of metrics, and the fact that there's a lot of zeros there in that red and that precip, we are trending towards drought, and drought development is likely in this part of the Cascades in the next 3 months, and likely sooner than that. So I just wanted to leave it there as far as the outlook, is that it doesn't look like a good chance that we're going to get a lot of rainfall in the near future, or even the distant near future, to help mitigate some stuff.
Oh, that's painful.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it doesn't look promising at the moment. So that's all I have, and I'll leave you to Forrest.